Hi everybody. I figured I would get on here and do an update. I know it's been a little bit, and also just to kind of talk my feelings out because in a lot of ways these videos help me just as much as I hope that if somebody is unfortunately going through something similar and stumbles across these, they help me just as much as I hope they're helping someone else. Also, I did not put an eye patch on. I know, yes, the hole is bigger, and I thought about covering it up, but this is my channel, and it's kind of just a come as you are kind of place. And so I figured, here I am. This is what I look like at this moment. And sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, it's a little hard to swallow. So I'm sure it might be a little much for some people too if you're squeamish, but I've been wearing the sticker patches, and so rather than wasting one for a video, I figured I would just, here I am. But I have my scans coming up at the end of the week. I have a CT scan first, and then I have my PET scan. And scan anxiety is real. I'm trying really hard not to let myself sit in it, but I can tell I'm getting more just, a little kind of shaky each day, but just trying to find things to occupy my time, taking care of baby girl. We've been going to the science center, trying to get out of the house really helps. But to say I'm not nervous wouldn't be a lie, because I am nervous. Thankfully, the last CT scan I had when the hole first happened, he did a kind of like a preemptive CT, and that didn't show any tumors. So I'm hopeful that that will be the same with this upcoming CT. This CT is a little bit more intensive. Not intensive, the CT will take 2 seconds, but he's getting a little bit different imaging because this CT scan will show if there's any tumors, but it's also going to show him what's going on kind of behind the hole so that he'll know how to proceed with surgery. So my appointment for that is July 1st, and I'm really hoping he'll have looked at the PET scan to be able to tell me something, but he's not my oncologist. He's my ENT head and neck surgeon. And I'm sure he somewhat reads and understands PET scans, but that's more of my oncologist, and that appointment is not until over a week after my PET scan. So I'm going to try really hard not to look at the results, because as soon as the results come in, I can read them on my portal. But the words, the last time my PET scan came in, the words they use are so confusing. So then I'm taking all those words, putting them in Google, and freaking myself out. I gave myself so much more anxiety by reading my results than I needed to, because it was fine, really. Everything I was reading, while it didn't make sense to me and made me think, oh my gosh, there's more cancer, all this is going on, that was not in fact true. And when I met with my oncologist, he said, things were going well. There was still, some things lighting up, but overall it had gotten better. And so if you are going through cancer, waiting on scans, I know it's really hard to wait, but for me, I think it will be helpful to not try and read the results before I meet with my oncologist. Thankfully, my scan's on Friday, my meeting with the surgeon is on Monday, so not a lot of time to wait there, and we'll get at least hopefully some answer for when the surgery will be. I'm really hoping he'll be able to do it sooner than later, because we would like to get home. We're still living at my parents' because this is close to where all of my doctors are, and we've been needing some help, and we're forever grateful, but we want to get home. Our baby has not with the exception of the first month of her life, has not been in her own home. And that's been hard, but we're hopeful to get back there. This surgery won't be anywhere near as extensive, but he does have to obviously find a way to repair the hole here and then route. There's basically like a cavern behind the hole. He has to find a way to route that so that any fluid that continues to come up drains through my nose, not my eye, which is why the hole formed, to release the fluid that was stuck in there from the radiation. And then he has to open up this side of my nose, basically, because the radiation burned it closed. So the CT scan will show him that, but it's the PET scan that I'm really anxious for, I guess. When I was first diagnosed, I was thinking, we'll get through this and I'll go back to feeling like my normal self. But I think once you have a cancer diagnosis, there's never that old normal. It's going to be a new normal, whether you lose your eye, whether you just have like a little bit of chemo, whether you have a lot of chemo, whether a cancer diagnosis changes your perspective on a lot of things and brings up a lot of fear. And I'm trying to just trust that God has a plan and is in control, but that can be really hard to do when you're just inundated with all your own feelings and emotions and anxieties and all of those things. So the losing my eye definitely was a big shift for there is not going to be an old normal, obviously. I'm having to adjust to life with one eye, and also side effects. I'm over 3 months now past my last radiation, and I'm still dealing, you can kind of hear in the way I talk, I'm still dealing with a lot of the side effects. So super dry mouth, just still a bunch of sinus stuff from the drainage and the inflammation still going down. So it's just a lot to think about and to sit on. But with upcoming scans, it becomes even more so, because everything in me is trying so hard to just think the cancer is gone. That is my prayer, that we're going to get no evidence of disease and be able to, move forward knowing that. And obviously there will be more scans to make sure it hasn't recurred. But any ache, I've been having some aches in my upper back right here, and then my knee has been hurting. Originally, my PET scan was just skull base to mid-thigh, and I ended up messaging my oncologist and saying, hey, I've been having knee pain. Can we please do a full body PET scan, which he automatically went ahead and put in. But chances are my knee is just hurting because I've been more active. I had been in the bed mostly, sitting right here in this spot on the couch, barely moving for months. And now I'm up, I'm able to walk in the mornings, which is great. And I'm sure that that's what's happening with my knee. My knee has had issues even pre all of this. So that's most likely what's happening. But in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a tumor in my knee, or it's moved to my bones. So like when my back has been hurting, which is also probably hurting because while I am moving more, I am still sitting here kind of in one, like, I just sit in the same exact position, and that's probably not great for my back. And that's probably why it's hurting. But again, my brain just goes to, it's moved my bones, because it had been like, it didn't actually get into the bone right here, but it was around the bone. So they consider it invading the bone. They removed some of that. And so I'm like, it got into my bones, and now I have bone cancer. And your head just spirals, and it's so hard to stop it. But I've really been trying to tell myself, logically, that is most likely not the case. This PET scan is going to show you that, and you can relax a little bit. But in the back of your mind, there's that fear that the PET scan is going to show that it has moved or metastasized or any number of things. And I would like to think that I can just to it. And I am. I'm doing the best I can, but they call it Scanxiety. Scan anxiety is real. So if you are dealing with cancer and upcoming scans and are worried and freaking out and just in your head and not feeling like yourself, know that you're not alone. That's basically what I wanted to share. Just, it's hard not to freak yourself out. It's hard not to go down all the worst case scenarios. But also, for me, I just have to believe and hope and pray that whatever the answers we get, we will move forward and be able to figure out what's next. So hopefully what's next is that we're good and we're going home soon, but I would welcome any prayers or good vibes that that's the case, because I think the more people sending thoughts and prayers, it just helps, I think. So would really welcome that. If you're a specific day prayer, the scans are on Friday, the 28th. So I have those, and then I'll get the results the 1st and the 9th. If not before. My other thought is maybe he'll get the PET scan in and bump up our appointment. That's my other hope, so that I'm not waiting so long, but we'll see. So that's it for now. Just thank you for continuing to support us and send positive messages and support, and it really means a lot. Thank you. Bye, everybody.